What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the GoodeBaker Podcast. I'm Nick Baker. Across from me, Shane Good.
What's Gucci?
And we're here to talk to you about some video games. First up, what have you been playing, man?
Alright, man, so we're going to just run this down really quick. My been playing and going to be playing is, she's a little limited right now.
Yeah, why don't you update the people on your recent injury report?
Yeah, so I broke a specific bone in my wrist that connects to my thumb. And I guess it's notorious for not healing well. So I got in a cast right now, got a month, I gotta go back. Once I go back, I gotta figure out if I'm gonna have surgery or not have surgery. So hopefully I don't have to have surgery. I'm leaning towards that one, but I'm probably in a cast for the next 2 months.
So you see, our man here is a skater. And what that means is, you know, he's every once in a while not going to be able to play games because he's breaking his fingers, breaking his hands all over the place.
You know, you gotta catch yourself somehow.
That's right. So,
but anyways, aside from that, one of the games that I can play and that I have been playing way too much is EVE Online. Oh. And I've gotten to the point in EVE Online where I can make if I farm for like 3 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, I can usually make around 300 mil. Which is...
Man, that sounds like a lot, but it's probably not.
It's not... it's a lot for a single person to farm in one sitting.
How long does that actually take? Like, is it strenuous, or is it very efficient now that you've gotten to that point?
It's super... It's not as efficient as it could be, but I'm basically what happened was I kind of like imagine like money making tiers, and I'm scratching the S tiers now. I'm just kind of like tickling the S tiers.
What's above like S? Is S top? Like
no.
Okay.
There's
S sounds good, but then
it is.
You can have like Devil May Cry like SSS status plus A plus, you know.
So there's S. Then there's S+, which is, S+ is as high as you can go with single-person farming, which is farming, probably farming level 5s in Angel space, which is a whole nother thing, super far out.
That sounds like really dope, but I know it's boring as fuck.
And then there's S++.
S++, and that you can only achieve with others.
Yeah, S++ is, this suggested amount of people that they have you like kind of do it with is they suggest that you have around 30 people, and it's like like an hour-long fight with 30 people.
Wow.
And it's
that's pretty amazing. Like just the sheer mass of that game alone scares the fucking bejesus out of me. So, I'm gonna stick to games, you know, a little bit smaller, but
like what?
Something like The Last of Us. You know, I mentioned last time how I beat the main campaign.
Oh, yeah.
I rolled it into the DLC, and man, I hadn't played the DLC Left Behind before, and now that I have, I realize that I should have played it a long, long time ago.
Yeah, it's really good.
It really fills in the time. Did you play...
I beat The Last of Us.
Okay, so...
But I didn't... and this was like... I beat The Last of Us on PS3 a long time ago.
Well, definitely spoilers for The Last of Us coming up, so if you don't want to hear that, skip ahead. But
fair enough. Give you a 5-second window. 1, 2... That's enough. Go ahead.
All right. So, anyway, so the Left Behind DLC takes place in that time frame where Joel is injured and Ellie has to take care of him. So, you are... kind of reminded of this old relationship that you had, or Ellie is reminded of a relationship she had with a young girl, one of her friends, from, you know.
Well, we don't want to give spoilers.
You know, early quarantine and whatnot. So I'm just trying to gather my thoughts here. So it starts out and you're in the same situation where Joel is injured. You're taking him by horseback, and you have to struggle to get him to a safe spot. And so from there, you enter this mall area, and it's all abandoned. You have to crawl through, finding resources. You're looking for medical supplies. I don't know why there would be medical supplies in a mall, but at the same time, you're like suspending disbelief.
First aid.
Yeah, exactly.
First aid, you know, medical.
So all you're kind of flash forwarding or flashing back, I guess, to the events that happened during this one day that you are hanging out with your friend.
Mm-hmm.
And So I won't give too much more away than that in case you do actually want to play it in the coming months up to Last of Us 2. But
yeah,
it is really, really touching, the story that they tell between Ellie and this, and it fills in her backstory and it makes you care a little bit more about and understand her a bit more.
Mm-hmm. I do like it when games do that. It makes it feel just a lot more whole.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I agree. And also I've been playing Red Dead Online a little bit. More shallow, but also deep in a way. Not emotionally deep, but damn gameplay deep.
Toxicity of the people around you that decide they're gonna kill you.
Dude, I haven't been killed by another person once. I mean, you get the like not like the.
You better knock on that fucking wall,
dude. Yeah. So I was playing a mission. It's an early mission. It's like first mission or two. You have to go after these guys.
Yeah.
They're a band of thieves or whatever, and there's 4 of them and 4 of you.
Yeah.
And you have to capture them within a time limit, get them back to the guy that he owes them, or them. Oh my god! So
what?
the guy that they owe money or something like that. They stole something from him. You have to go out and you're hired to capture these guys and bring them back. I got it out.
Yeah,
got it out there in the end.
Yeah.
So anyway, this guy we get to the very, very end of it. And he throws the guy onto the ground in front of where we're supposed to go, and he just smokes him. And I'm like, oh, dude, you have to do all that again? And that's really the only roadblocks I've felt with Red Dead Online. Other than that, it's weird. It's like a single-player, multiplayer game. You'll, like,
multiplayer?
Yeah, you'll see people every now and again, unless you're, like, in a party or whatever, posse with somebody, and you're, gallivanting around, causing all kinds of mayhem.
Yeah.
It's rare to see really anybody unless you're in urban areas, and Saint Denis is a really big spot that a lot of people like to go. It's like the New Orleans-esque area of the map. Yeah, but man, I've been having a surprising amount of fun with it. As I said, it's kind of like a little bit of a single-player game, so I've just kind of been tooling around on there by myself.
Yep, but, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so anyway, moving on to the big topics of the week. This might tickle your fancy.
How did this become another big topic? Damn.
Fortnite,
I thought we ran away.
Fortnite Chapter 2 leaks.
Yes.
I think that we both kind of grasp a little bit of what's been going on here. They leaked on iOS store.
In Italy?
Yeah, some screenshots and information about possibly another map.
Yep.
And obviously a suite of new skins and, everything that comes with a new season of Fortnite. What do you think about an entirely new map for Fortnite? Because now Apex has thrown together that whole new map.
So,
what do you think about Fortnite jumping into the ring?
Here's what I think, right? I think at this point in the game, we've hit a point where Fortnite is still number one in terms of mass players and sheer popularity, but I don't think it's number one anymore in terms of what they have to offer. And I don't know if you know this, Ninja just called out Fortnite again, and Fortnite is actually being sued. So two separate things that are like super big that are also happening to Fortnite right as they're about to release this big thing. So map wise, I think they're gonna do map. Do you know anything about the Ninja or this being sued?
I know vaguely. I mean, obviously, Ninja left Twitch for Mixer. There was that whole hullabaloo. What else has happened? Yeah, that's right. They had the whole stream malfunction or whatever. Malfunction.
Yeah.
Twitch, where they stream porn on his channel or whatever, or his hosted channel.
Yeah, this has not this is.
So this is a different thing.
Yeah. So 2 days ago, Ninja got really mad for dying in a really stupid way. And, he just kind of, sat there and looked at the camera and was talking to, one of the other guys that he was playing with. And they started talking, and they started talking about the skins in the game and realizing how much the same are. And it ended up being that Ninja called Fortnite out for using the same skins in different ways. And he was just he just totally laid it all out on the floor. Why are you guys, what do you do with all this money? what's going on? Why are you just recoloring the same exact skins instead of giving us something new?
You really did just call him out. That's impressive for a guy that's kind of made his living on that that game for the last few years.
He literally was like...
It's pretty ballsy to take him right down at the knees like that.
Yeah, so that happened, and then Fortnite is being sued by... It's a Class A lawsuit, so I don't know how much you know about it. Basically, it means that anybody can jump onto it. So it's a Class A lawsuit where parents are suing Fortnite for making Fortnite too addictive. And where it gets people is supposedly... See how it holds up in court. Supposedly, they are... Fortnite hired psychologists to help make the game more addictive for children. Now...
That's interesting.
It's super... I saw this and was like, what?
Yeah, that's...
How is that gonna stick?
That's an interesting wrinkle.
Especially... Fortnite was addicting.
Is there... first question I have is anything illegal about that? It might be a little controversial to say, like, but is anything illegal about, like, them hiring counselors? I mean, manipulation of children. I'm not sure if there are any real laws.
The only law that they have to kind of, like, put to it is they don't have a warning about how addictive the game is.
So they just slap that on the front of it, and then they call it good. Would they even put that, though?
They can't.
Because then they're kind of admitting their own shit. So yeah, I guess if it comes down to it, I think it's just going to be deny.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really interesting to hold up in court. I'll be super interested to see.
But the first kid to get that, there's going to be a mountain of kids that just get that. That's insane.
Yeah. So of course. With a Class A, it's whoever jumps ship gets a piece of the settlement. Yeah. So keep your eyes on it, and make sure you play Fortnite at least once this week. That way you can tell them how addicted you are and jump in on the Class A lawsuit just in case.
Man, I'm so addicted to Fortnite, guys. I can't stop.
Oh, all right.
So,
moving on.
biggest news of this episode, because I think we're going to run a little long. I talked too much, is the big PlayStation 5 news that they just released. They announced...
They did release announcements.
Oh, yeah. They released all the announcements about their release window, which is 2020 holiday next year.
Yep.
Some controller features that include reactive... triggers and haptic feedback.
Yep.
If you don't know what haptic feedback is, it's just a different kind of module in the controller to simulate feelings like rumble, but they're taking out the rumble features and Switch for this.
So it's kind of a little more specific and
a
little more refined.
So, I mean, there are some really cool things. Obviously, they had this suite of stuff that they told us about earlier on in the year that's still there. Solid state drive, going to make loading time way quicker.
Can't wait.
The one thing that was interesting that I did see on here was the Shadow of the Colossus and Uncharted. The creators and studio behind that are creating a huge title for the launch of PlayStation 5.
Yep.
That could be really, really interesting. That's one of the things that was said in one of the interviews about the PlayStation. So what you gonna be day one? What do you think?
With that price point, I mean...
Oh, what price point? We're not talking price yet.
I mean... No, honestly, I think realistically, what these consoles are going to have to offer for our near future is actually, I mean, as we know, generally speaking, these guys lose money on these consoles.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think you're going to end up getting a really good steal. I was looking at just a couple of the specs, and it has finally released that they are going to do an 8-core AMD Zen 2.
Yeah,
which
and it is hyper-threaded, right? So
so it's 16 cores.
Yeah, which I think is more than enough, right?
I mean, you're close to what I can do, but the thing is, it's gonna be on such a low gigahertz frequency that you won't, like, it's hard to, the way that these games are constructed, honestly, it would run the same on a 6-core as it would an 8-core, and most of that isn't because of the equipment. like, it's kind of cool to see that this is kind of what's happening, but at the same time, it's like, damn it, I thought we'd be past this point. And, like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the fact that games right now aren't being created to use all 8 cores, let alone 16 cores. So, like, the multi-thread or the multi-task capabilities are, you know, really good, especially with the Ryzen processors. Like, you cannot beat the multi-core, like, multitasking.
I think that is really exciting in itself. Just the multitasking ability of, I mean, the PlayStation 4 just does not have that multitasking ability.
Yeah.
Like, you can have a game open and do other things, but when you ask it to have a game open and go to, like, YouTube or a video app, it will suspend your application. And granted, it will keep it suspended so that when you turn off YouTube, you can go back where you were in your game. All the online features and whatnot, it disconnects. So if you're playing an online game, you're kicked or whatever. But, I mean, that's pretty good for, like, single-player games. But what excites me most about that is just being able to do things like that. Just forget about it. I'll switch from this game to watching this thing real quick, or like a guide here, and it'll maybe stuff like that will be integrated into the actual software, you know, where games will have menu bits in there to say, like, oh, there's, say, Fortnite, for example, there's some strategies on YouTube that you could see Ninja performing right now. Just click this and it pops up a picture-in-picture of, like, oh, him 360 no-scoping this fucking guy way out. And you're like, well, I can't do that, but maybe there's something else here for me, you know? But
exactly. And this processor it definitely will let you do that. And what excites me about this is that hopefully, because PlayStation's doing it, AMD's doing it, computers had it for a while, let's just get games to run on all 8 cores. Just give me a game that efficiently runs on 8 cores.
I think we're getting closer and closer
to
things like that. And there's another thing that they mentioned on here, the installation of games is going to be different. And this also goes into the multitasking thing where you can choose portions of games to install first. So they've kind of implemented it a little bit with smaller games on PS4. Like I did download The Last of Us recently, and you can choose to either download the multiplayer features or the single-player game. And so I chose the single-player game, and it was done in like 10 minutes. And I'm like, all right, sweet. I just jump in here and play this game. And unfortunately, you don't get the multiplayer that quick, but that's a great option to have, I think.
And it's something, I don't know how it works right now for you guys, but what will end up happening with this SSD is that the SSD write times versus hard drive, depending on how cheap they go, because I don't have obviously I don't have a PS5 in front of me, so I don't have like a branding of like what it is, whether it's going to be, what type of SSD it is, and transfer rates. But
how final all these things are is, I mean, completely up to Sony at this point, like whether they're going to have to scale things back or maybe they have a little bit more time and they can boon some stuff. Like,
exactly.
I think things will change, but we're getting a better picture of it now. And
they haven't
it just excites me. It could, because of how great the PS4 even is, but you see the chinks in the armor now because it's a 6-7-year-old system.
I mean, even when it came out, it was pretty good. Yeah. Like, for what it was, definitely the dominant.
I think that when the consoles came out, a lot of people were pretty impressed with how, I mean, even Xbox One, and it was a little bit lower tier of what you could expect from a console, but it also it had great games on there, and games that you couldn't even imagine playing on a PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360. You saw that, and you're like, oh, well, damn, all right.
I mean, Just Cause 3?
Now, fast forward 6-7 years later, we're getting that again, and possibly better, because all of these features that have been polished and speculated out the ass for these last 7 years have been fine-tuned and, in my opinion, to perfection a lot of the time. Especially with Xbox, like Game Pass and all that stuff, that's such a brilliant business model for getting first-party titles in the hands of people you want to play them. That, man, next gen is just going to be bonkers.
It's going to be really, really dope. I'm not going to lie. I know we're spending a lot of time here, so I don't want to say too much more. But the one thing, like, if I had to just reach up and pull down this one thing that I'm looking forward to the most.
Do it, man. Pull it down.
All right. Playing games with people on console and computer. Like, it's just, I can't, that's all I want.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All I want to do.
I can't fucking wait. And honestly, dude, it's coming quicker than we think.
Like, it really is.
The whole crossplay thing we were talking about last week, it's just elevated. And I can't wait. We're pushing it as a gaming society. And the game makers and console creators and PC crafters are listening.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a beautiful fucking thing.
It's going to be... It really is going to be fantastic.
So, just wanted to mention real quick before we get off here, credit for some of the stuff that I got here goes to GameSpot's Oscar Deus. Wanted to mention him because that's a lot of really great information that I had here that some of it I didn't even mention. But, yeah, thank you, man. And thank you, Shane. We'll see you next week. Oh, yeah, like, subscribe, comment.
Also...
Oh.
Whoop, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to be like... follow us on Spotify.
Oh, yeah, Spotify.